Hello, Bryce Tubbs here. Hopefully having a great day. I'm doing this video from my car while I'm parked inside the Chipotle parking lot. Today I just want to talk about like dream firms. Like, what should you be doing to grow your accounting firm? Now, what we're gonna be talking about is a couple different things. I want to talk about three and a half different points to make sure you can grow this thing really easily. Now, number one, okay, so the most obvious place that most people just don't go and don't think about is friends and family. Okay, so when you're first starting, you're trying to get monthly accounting and bookkeeping clients. The number one thing is you have to make sure that you're not disqualifying people. Okay, so what generally happens is most people when they start a business, they're like, I don't know anyone that actually knows business owners, and everyone I know either owns like a really, really small micro business, or they're just like, in the 9 to 5 world, and they just don't know anyone who owns a business. So they just really avoid going to those people, or they make a post on social media saying, "Hey, I'm starting my business. Tell if you know someone owns a business, let them know." And these posts in some cases can do okay. Oftentimes they just kind of fall flat. And there's a number of reasons. One, because if you've never really posted on your social media profiles, those posts do not get any exposure. You actually have to warm up your posting content. That's why, for example, like content, whenever you're starting out, like I generally don't advise for most people to try and make content marketing their key strategy, because their profiles, one, are not warm. Two, you don't really have the right audience, and three, oftentimes the content that you make just is not strong enough for you to be able to make any ground. And we'll talk about like when to use content in a couple minutes, but there's generally a path you have to do first in order to make sure your content works, because it just does not work for most people straight out of the box. Now, once you're able to start going, you need to start messaging the friends and family and telling them the exact same thing you would be posting, like, "Hey, I'm starting a business. Who do you know that owns a business and might be in need for this service?" Now, the key thing that most people mess up here is you're not necessarily trying to say like who owns a business that needs this service. The thing you should be shooting for is who do you know that owns a business, period. Because then you can get a list of people that own a business. Now, chances are, most of those people who own a business are going to need your service. It's just inevitable. When every single business on the planet needs it, but not everyone knows why they need it, or they have it, or they're unhappy with their current situation, there's a lot of opportunities every single day for you to be able to kind of fill in that gap. So if you can start assembling a list of people who you can then start either reaching out to on social, maybe giving them a call, maybe even a cold text, maybe an email, right? Then you can start really moving very, very quickly. A good example of this was Audrey actually did a good job with this. Actually, no, who's another one? Maite did a good job with this, because when she was first getting started, the first thing I said was, okay, cool, go talk to all of your family members, because she had a really, really large extended family, and a lot of them were into marketing and into growth and into just like being an influencer on social media. So they had a lot of followers for each one of them. So I just told her, hey, go talk to each one of your family members, see if you can go get some referrals. She got like 3 referrals within I think it was 5 days of working together, just from going to the friends and family and just making sure that everything was just all of them knew that she owned a business and that she was looking for people. Another reason why it's super important to go out to friends and families, because a lot of people will just assume that just because you're starting a business, you don't need any help. So if you never go and say that you need help, or if you never ask for it, a lot of people are just going to assume that you're already making a gajillion dollars. Because as you probably know, and as you probably have witnessed, most people who don't run a business believe that you just start your business, you turn on your computer, then all of a sudden you have this flow of clients and money, and all of a sudden you're rich and you have all this time freedom. But you know that when you're starting, it doesn't really work like that. So if you can at least go and educate them that, hey, I do need some help. And also, one thing to note is saying that you need help is not a bad thing. I know a lot of people where they're like, I don't want to look vulnerable. I don't want anyone to know that I'm struggling. I don't want anyone to know that I'm not to my goal. And I completely understand, because when I first got started, about 8 months into it, right before I went back into corporate America, I was doing terrible, man. Everyone kept asking me, how's your business going? How's your business going? And what I did was I was just I kind of I found strategic ways every single time to like say one word and then circle the conversation back to them and about like how like their life was going. And I became a really like just expert at like deflecting that question about how my business was going, or I would just completely avoid it. And like as soon as they would say something about it, I'd be like, oh, it's doing okay, and then I would just run away. And I would just like exit, because I didn't want people to know that I wasn't good at business, that I wasn't really doing well, right? But looking back now, like actually the same church that I was going to when I was struggling was the same church that actually started giving me some of my first clients. And it was because like I just kind of changed my attitude, and I just kind of started talking to some of the other business owners saying, hey man, I'm kind of struggling to do this. Like, do you know anyone who owns a business? Like, who do you think could use my help? He said, well, I don't know if they'll use your help, but this guy owns a business. Then they would put me in contact with it, and that's how I started using like friends and family to really grow really quickly. Now I'm running a little bit low on memory on my phone. I have about a minute left, so I think I'll make the second one inside of another video when I have more memory. Now, if you want some help growing your accounting or bookkeeping practice, and you want to avoid a lot of the mistakes that 99% of people make when they're trying to grow a business, go ahead and click on the link inside the description below. It's going to take you to my calendar, and you can actually book a call with me so I can give you some custom advice for where you're trying to go to. A lot of people when they're starting, like they have like really a lot of misconceptions about what it takes to grow a business, and if you don't have someone who's been where you're trying to go speaking into your situation, it causes you to really like struggle a lot longer than you have to. And what this looks like is most business owners only make like 20 grand, 30 grand in their first year in business, and most people start kind of perpetuating that stereotype that you have to struggle. It's not like that. It's just most people don't get advice. Now, if you want to avoid that, go ahead and come and click on the link inside the description. Book a call with me. Let's see if I can help you out. If I can help you out, I'll even make you an offer to work with me in my private mentorship. But if it's not a good fit, there's no fear. I'm just going to make sure you know exactly what you need to do. Hopefully, have a good day, and I'll see you on the call.